What is happening, my people? You're now tuned in to SECZN lunch breaks on your Thursday lunch break, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. As we get into it today, talking about the boycott effect, this should be a very, very interesting conversation. I got my guy with me. Let me go ahead and bring him up. From Auburn Addicts TV. I got DC Wolf. How you doing?
I am doing excellent, man. Very happy to be here on lunch breaks. Let's go, people.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, this should be a very, very interesting one, man, that we get into it. So, as we always do, what's for lunch, man?
What's
What we
gonna be
do?
for lunch is because I got a
Oh,
quick
okay.
lunch after this, man. I already took out, man. I'm gonna bake me some fish, man. Do some broccoli, do some sweet potatoes, man. That's what I'm gonna do. Keep it healthy today, partially.
Okay.
I'll probably
Okay.
get some sweet, something sweet to drink. So balance it out. You know,
Okay. Okay.
just zero out
Well,
everything I did by baking it.
speaking of something sweet to drink, I
Okay.
have
Okay. Let's see it.
Milo's extra sweet tea.
Okay, okay.
Right?
That
We
is
going
that a
really,
purple
really,
bottle? Is that
yeah.
I've never seen that. I've never
It's
seen
three simple. It says brewed fresh, three simple ingredients.
Okay, what are they?
Those in sugar, sugar,
Sugar
and
is
sugar.
sugar. Man, I've never seen that, man. That God, I have never seen Milo's in the
It's pretty
purple.
sweet. It's
Good
not bad.
Lord. Okay.
I also got see what I got today. I got chicken tenders and potato wedges
Ooh, yeah, that look good.
right
Let's
there.
go.
Little
Let's
honey
go.
mustard sauce.
Yeah,
Uh
a must.
Keeping it simple, man. It's keeping it simple today.
Got you. I
So
got
as you guys come on in, man, the first question of the day is what's for lunch? So drop what you're having for lunch in the chat, giving people a little bit of time to stand in line at the microwave, man, and warm their food up, get ice on their drink and all of that, man. While we're waiting on that though, let's go ahead and get the lunch table question of the day on the board, right? Let's see what we got here for today, man. As you know, today's episode is the boycott effect. We're talking about the NAACP's ask of African American athletes to essentially boycott 8 states in the South, the schools in 8 states in the South. So our lunch table question of the day is going to be a simple one. When was the last time you checked your voter registration? Just on the information on your registration, what district you in, and all that information. So when the last time have you checked it? Of course, it's fully interactive. You can type
you.
recently in the chat. You can type a while ago.
Oh, they
Uh,
ain't gonna be inactive today, Tez. They not
and
gonna
then
be
and, and then and then you can type never in the chat if you've never
Yeah,
checked your voter
let's be
registration
honest.
before.
Let's get real honest
Uh,
today.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Real honest.
it's a lot of people who probably never checked it before. There's not,
Mhm.
yeah, that's a lot of people registered. They just never, as long as it works when you get to the polls, most people don't care. I'm gonna say a while ago for me. 'Cause I got a special circumstance, so I'm gonna say a while ago. I'm gonna put a while ago in the chat.
It better be a special
Uh,
just a circumstance. Better
as
be.
we get into this, man, this should be an interesting. So, yeah, man. You ever ran for anything, DC?
Um, no. Have I read? Let me think about it. No, I've never ran for anything, man, that I could think of. I might think of it as we going on, but not I can think of. No.
Man, I ran for one thing in my life. I ran for Mr. Team.
Okay, that's what's up. Okay,
Yeah,
what happened?
in the
What
in the
was the outcome,
seventh
man?
grade,
What was the
Mr.
outcome?
Middle School. I didn't win.
Okay.
I
What?
didn't
I
even
mean,
come close to winning.
okay, okay. Well, okay. So you didn't know because of the votes you got. How do you know you didn't come close to winning? They
Because
tallied the votes
I
and
did.
told.
Yeah, I didn't get first, second, or third place. So
Okay, okay. That's
yeah,
fine.
I
But
wasn't in the winner's circle
but
at
you
all.
could have missed by like a third of a point. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You could have just missed by 1 point. You could have been really
Yeah,
close.
I
Just,
probably I
just
probably
like
did.
people think like their vote don't count. You feel what I'm saying? So you could be really close, but just thinking your vote don't count. You could have missed by like the first person could have got 500 votes. You know what I'm saying? The second
Right.
person got 499. The third, 498, and you could have got 497. Well, 497. You could have got 496. So you could have been like 5 votes off of winning.
I probably wasn't close.
Come on, help you out.
Because I realized that like a lot of running for stuff is like just kissing up to people you don't like.
Yeah, and you got the most stupidest stuff to win in school. Like, yeah, I'm gonna make sure we have, 6 periods of recess and 1 period of class, and everybody like, yeah, vote
Right,
for
right.
him. Like, bro, that is impossible,
Then we
man. We're not doing that, and we're gonna
we
have,
passing out like chip bags to everybody,
yeah,
and it's
all that
like
stuff.
I
Yeah,
don't wanna I
yeah,
don't wanna pass out chip bags to people I don't get
yeah,
along with,
yeah.
but they
Gotta
in the
do it, man.
class and I wanna get a vote from them.
Gotta do it, man. Gotta pass out the lollipops, chip bags, Snicker bars, man. If you went Snicker bars, you definitely would have won in middle school. You know what I'm saying? If you would have went candy bars, bro, you would have
Yeah.
won hands down. You would have, you know what I'm saying? Back in them days, yeah, you little candy bar, Twix, Snicker bar, man. You know, brought out the big guns, bro. You'd have won, man. You know,
Yeah, I probably would've, man.
hey
You're
man,
right,
why don't
you're
we
right.
just do this?
I would've.
Why don't we just like, just let you run from middle school again, bro? Just find a middle
I
school,
probably
bro, and you just run, man, and I'll
and
be your
just
campaign manager.
show up.
Yeah, just show up and run. I'll be your campaign manager, man. You know what I'm saying? I think we could
So,
take it, bro. I think we could take some middle
are we
school instead.
I got one question.
What?
How we gonna get around getting arrested?
We ain't gonna get arrested, man. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna sneak our name in the ballot, you know what I'm saying? And we could do it as a lunch
You're not
break
even thinking about
exercise.
that part.
No, I ain't. We could think about it as a lunch break exercise. We're gonna run it through the principal. We're gonna do it legal. Run it through the principal and everything. We're gonna do our campaign, and we just gonna see if we can win an 8th grade election
Just
as adults. That'd be a cool exercise.
that would be cool. Like, they allow us to do it and we
Yeah,
go in there,
yeah.
run a full campaign.
Run a full
I think
campaign.
as long as it's fair, I can,
Oh, bro, we'll get them, Tez,
I
bro.
can put forth a fair shot, man.
Tez, man. We'll have
I
everything.
know what middle schoolers, want in school. I was a middle schooler once.
Okay. What do middle schoolers want, man?
Mm,
They want
less work, less
yeah,
homework.
yes, that's gonna be our number one thing, bro. Less work. We're gonna no more homework,
Mm,
period. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And we just like say we're gonna do work only 1 period, and then we're gonna have playground time for 6 periods.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And
And
then
then
like on different days, man, we're gonna give like blow pops on one day,
right.
cotton candy on one day, funnel cakes on one day, just all sweet stuff, bro. It's just like,
And
bro,
on test day, you get to use ChatGPT.
yeah, oh man, landslide, Vic. And you get to bring your cell phone and use it as much as you want to.
Yeah, yeah, no cell phone
Yeah,
restrictions. Now,
yeah, man.
I'm not saying that this plan is gonna be good for education
Yeah,
in the
it's not.
school system as a whole, but we're trying to win.
We trying to
So,
win, man. We
that's
trying to win.
kind of the point of politics.
Yeah,
We
that's
wanna
it. That's all that matters, man. In this day and age of politics, only thing matters is winning, bro.
just
Promises
win.
and all that stuff, man. Doing things ethically and all that. It doesn't matter. Just winning, man.
Yeah, yeah. So guys, if you if you're just joining us, man, we answering our lunch table question of the day before we get into our topic here. And it's simply when was the last time you checked your voter registration? Right? You can type that in the chat. If you've done it recently, you just type recently. If it's been a while ago, type a while ago in the chat. And if you've never checked it, just put never. I mean, that's not embarrassing.
Yeah,
Some
it is what it is,
way
man.
voting works. A lot of people don't even bother to check it.
Mhm.
Which is, it's common. So, um, man, that's interesting, man. I thought maybe you had ran for something at one time,
Mm-mm. No, man.
Mister.
No, man. Yeah,
Man,
I did tryouts,
I,
but
th-
that's about it, man. You know
I
what I'm
thought
saying?
everybody has tried to win the democratic process at one point.
No, man,
And
that wasn't
decided,
my thing. Trying to be the like SGA president and stuff like that. That wasn't my
yeah,
deal, man. Trying to
yeah, man.
be Mr. Timms and Mr. TIHS. No, man. You know.
Well, have you seen some of these like campaign commercials?
Yes, man, they're wild, man. And I'm like, man, how do people look at these campaign commercials and actually vote for people based on the campaign commercials is wild to me. It's just like, how do
do
you look at that and like, man, I'm gonna vote for somebody based on that? No,
you have a
no,
do you have a favorite one?
man. Okay, no, I ain't gonna say a favorite one, but one that was just wild, bro. Just wild to see. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna
Right.
say it was my favorite one, but just like one that really like I was just looking at the screen like when it was over. Like the one when I think it was I think it was Governor Kemp when he was like came out, had a shotgun and like, get all the illegals, we're gonna round them up and I put them in my truck. I was like, oh, okay, all right, all right, Governor Kemp.
First
Okay.
first of all, the shotgun on national TV
Yeah,
during the
he had
election
shotgun
commercials
and everything, he
is
had the truck behind
it's
him.
alarming right off
Yeah,
the top.
he had the shot
And
truck behind him. He was like, "I'll put him in my truck." I'm like, "Okay, all right."
it's funny, man. It's
Yeah,
funny. I forget the
do it, bro.
congressman, uh, that has this commercial here in Alabama. I don't know if you're in Alabama, you've seen it.
Mhm.
When he's like, I I almost don't wanna repeat it, but he's he's like, he comes on there, he says, uh, "This is, he's basically talking about America, he said, "Yeah, you can all bar your butt back to the Middle East.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds like
This
that.
is America, and I love Jesus Christ."
Man, yeah, bro, you got
And I was like,
that.
"Wow, bro, like, you can" ah, man.
They get to it, bro. They get to the
You gonna
nitty-gritty,
need a
dog.
parental advisory
Yeah, they
little
get to the
sticker
nitty-gritty
for
with that
campaign
bullshit, bro.
commercials, bro,
Yeah,
like,
bro. And
it's
it's like,
wild,
bro,
man.
this is no offense to anybody, any ethnic group, but
No, not at all.
it's
It's
a
just I
interesting.
just find it's hilarious to me.
Yeah, it's like, man, it's not like, man, it's not like really real politics where we're like literally talking policy. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like we're not really in this day and age, and I guess that's what I'm seeing and we're getting to. It's like we're not talking policy and things that are affecting your constituents. And man, okay, what is your plan to balance the budget? Okay, what is your plan for Social Security? What is your plan, for to lower college tuition or to get affordable housing? What is the plan to do that? It's just
Right.
like it's become some like let's say something explosive and overt to just get
Yeah.
people to check the box. What they're doing is just what we said. It's just like we're just gonna give everybody candy and not go to class.
Yeah, we just
That's
that's it.
exactly what they're
Yeah,
what they're.
yeah.
So it's like
It's
we're not talking about policy at all, man. It's crazy.
bro, it's funny you said that because today's topic is,
Mhm,
and I just, I know we got a couple minutes before we hit the brakes on it, but I get into, like, one of the reasons that, you know, this is on the docket for the day is, because of what you said, like, it's almost like the policy part of it is the conversation that is
mhm,
not being had. And
mhm,
I feel like with this topic, there's a lot of conversation around that, what happens from the athletic standpoint, but there's
mhm,
not a lot of conversation around
mhm,
the actual cause and root cause of it, right?
mhm, mhm,
Um, so like that's what we're gonna look at today is like all of
mhm,
the numbers, right? We're gonna
mhm,
look at the whole story, instead of just the part that makes the headline. It should be interesting, man.
mhm,
It should be an interesting conversation, guys. If you guys are just joining us, we're asking the lunch table question of the day,
mhm.
right now, and it is, when was the last time you checked your voters registration? All
I
you got
don't
to do to answer that
I don't
seriously.
I don't see people answering, Tez. You see what I'm saying? Now
Yeah,
now
yeah.
they
This
now
is
they
one
can't
is
find
like
their
what?
phone. They can't find their
Right,
phone now, Tez. But y'all stick
right.
around, man. Stick around for the whole show to the end because
Yeah,
DC gonna shock
yeah.
y'all today. DC gonna shock y'all
It's gonna be a fun
today.
conversation.
Oh,
I
DC
knew
gonna
that like
shock y'all today.
that this question was like one that, but either you can type recently in the chat, you can type a while ago, or you can type never in the chat,
Mhm,
just depending on which one applies to you. Um, so you like you said, you ask a question about something different, you get a bunch of answers.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
this was one is like, yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know, man. Um, what's interesting about this topic too is like there is recent headlines from Nick Saban. Did you see him in Congress
Yeah,
basically
man,
saying what he
bro.
said?
You can quote it, you can give me quotes, but just as a whole, I have a very strong opinion on that too. You know what I'm saying? I have a very
Uh,
strong opinion on that whole thing of
yeah.
going to Congress and stuff like. I have a very strong opinion on that. So uh, just let me know when you want to spill it, bro. If you want,
Yeah, we may save that for a whole episode
okay,
actually, because
okay.
it's a lot that goes into that too.
Hmm.
JK in the chat said, "How can Lil Nicky have an issue with NIL and he's getting fired and K for doing nothing and
I,
ran from college football because he couldn't handle winning without having an advantage."
that's where I was
Um,
going.
it's a mouthful.
That's where I
You
was
said
going.
something then.
That's where I was going, man. It's so hypocritical. I'm gonna just keep this short so we can go on. But I was telling my brother today on the phone because he was talking about it, and I was like, it's hypocritical for everyone, and especially me, because I want all of these regulations inside rail so DC can be happy. So
Right, right,
you know what I'm saying? So my team can be intact, so I can win games, so I can go to work and brag, as my brother said. That's it.
right.
It's for my happiness and my stress level because I don't want to stress about people leaving and get jumping in the portal and not being on my team and stressing about us getting players. Are we gonna have the money? This is for DC happiness. This is not even for the players. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna start with Nick Saban. I'm gonna start with myself. You feel what I'm saying? So and then
Mhm.
for Nick Saban and all these other coaches, like y'all made all this money all these years, but now everybody else can get paid. Now we want to pull the ladder up and make
Right.
regulations. Okay, I wish Congress, when they get there, and I said I was going to be short, when they get there, I
No,
wish
you're good.
Congress would say, good, all of y'all, I'm glad y'all here. We're going to cap revenue. ESPN people, you can only make $50,000. We're gonna cap revenue for coaches. Y'all can only make $25,000, and we're gonna cap revenue for car dealerships, specifically
Right.
Mercedes dealerships. You can only make $5 a year. And let me see your
Prize.
reaction then. But we can
Yeah.
go to work and jump jobs. I can jump jobs today if I want to. But go ahead, man. Go ahead. But yeah, I know you have a strong opinion, Ted. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
Nah, man, I feel you, man. Like, and look, I agree that it should be regulation. So in theory, what he's saying is correct. And I don't think how he's his plan for it is correct,
Please
but
expound
it
how it
it, sh-
should be
it
regulation.
it should be some regulations
I'm finna draw a line straight down the center of the screen. Go ahead.
it should be some regulations on well, I'll put it like this, I understand why there are regulations because but it should be regulations in order to protect the athletes. It
Huh?
from getting taken advantage of because you have 17-year-olds that are doing businesses with billion-dollar companies, and billion-dollar companies can be predatory upon people who don't know any better. So, like, it should be something in place to protect athletes from things like that. I don't necessarily think it should be something that caps spending and
Okay.
how much money that
Okay.
they can make.
Okay. Okay.
But you have to have something in place in between because these are kids that are, like you put a kid in a room with uh billionaires and talking money, they've never done that before. They're not gonna negotiate themselves and their worth properly a lot of times. And then now you got agents stepping in, but there's no regulations on that. So
Mhm.
at the end of the day, it's gotta be that's the focus, I think, what Congress should step in. That's where there should be some legislation or something there. But um, so I get why, like, it can't just be this open free market system and it exists. I don't think.
Okay,
Um,
Tez, what was this when I was cutting grass when I was a kid, going around putting with my lawnmower and my gas, and I was
it,
negotiating as a kid, and then I cut
we,
this
how much
lady
were you
grass.
negotiating for
Watch
though?
this. I cut this lady grass, and she gave me three balled up dollars. And I like what? $3? Guess what? I didn't go back to that lady house again and cut her grass ever again. You know what I'm saying? So where was
No
all
more.
this when I was a kid with my lawnmower, Tez, getting taken advantage of? But I mean, I
What do
understand what you're saying, man. But nobody is negotiating my job salary every day when I go to work. I mean, You know what I'm saying?
I
Did
get that.
somebody negotiate your job salary for you? Like, was there a agent or, I'm trying to
Mm-mm.
understand, bro.
No, I mean, not as an adult, but then I wasn't dealing with that type of money either.
Okay.
Like, this is generational wealth that is that is being, put on somebody with, uh, underdeveloped brain, so to speak. There's never like, it's not even accounting for the things like these kids don't know a hill of beans about taxes.
Okay.
Just all things that come with money. Like, that's why I think Congress should come into play. They should mandate that the NCAA or the schools or something, like, get in the middle and legislate that. Like, get that straight first
Okay, okay, and we're
before
gonna
you
go on.
worry about how
Yeah,
much money
you're right.
these
Yes,
kids are
sir.
making. But this is a like, that's why I
Okay,
said it's
but
like a
what
whole episode.
this is a conundrum, because I'm like, what number
Mhm.
should somebody step in? The 17-year-old Popeyes just going getting their job working, and ain't nobody negotiating on their behalf to make sure they have money for generational wealth and how to invest their $17. So at what money point should Congress step in when I'm a kid? When I make
No, no, no.
when it's $500,000 involved, or when it's
It's not I don't
75,000, or when it's 25,000. You see what I'm
I
saying?
don't
It's
I don't
like,
think it should be I don't think it should be stepping in on the kid necessarily, more so on the university. And more so on, like, the companies that are coming in, because here's the thing, in terms of money, this is why I said this is a deeper conversation, but in
okay,
terms of money and how much these kids are making, I think they should get paid more,
okay,
right? The reason I think they should get paid more is because, like, if you do a deal, you sign an NIL deal with Nike, right? And you're a five-star athlete, you may get paid a ton of money, but how
mhm,
much money do you think Nike is gonna generate off of your name, image, and likeness compared to the amount that they gonna pay you?
billions.
You see what I'm saying? So, like, a lot of this, while you got a lot of the average fan is like, well, they're making a lot of money or they shouldn't make that much money. I'm on the side of like, no, 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 no. I think that these kids are getting taken advantage of from a name, limit, image, and likeness standpoint.
Mhm,
Because I put it to you like this: you're looking at some of these deals and you see, and they look astronomical. You get, I'm trying to think of one. Well, not one specifically, but you get a five-star athlete. He signs. Let's say Nike gives him $1 million, right, for this deal. Generate not generational money, but ton of money, right? You're $1 million athlete, deal with Nike. They put your name, image, and likeness on every product, on every commercial, selling shoes off of you. They're generating hundreds of millions of dollars off of you, off $1 million deal. If you were not a college athlete looking for an NIL deal and you were just another popular person outside of the landscape of football, that deal will be worth almost 10 times more than that.
mhm.
That's where I see the problem at. So that's why, like, yeah, y a lot of these companies and schools are taking advantage of these kids from that standpoint, and nobody sees it that way because they just kids and athletes. That's why
Mhm.
I'm like, Congress should step in there and focus, not necessarily Congress stepping in, but the focus of the conversation should be right there at the middle, man, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Um, so that's kinda what I mean by that. Like,
No, that's fair. That's
is
fair.
if I sign a deal with Nike, my deal is gonna be, if I'm popular and I'm outside of football and I'm popular enough to have a deal with Nike, it's likely gonna be more than a college athlete's deal.
Mhm.
'Cause I'm not under this guise of NIL and you can make this much money
Mhm.
and such and such. Like, no, I'm negotiating for myself. How many things are you gonna put this on? Uh how often are you gonna put this my name, image, and likeness on these products? How many times is this ad gonna display? How much average revenue do you generate? Does an
Mhm.
athlete generate for you? You see what I'm saying? Like, and
Mhm.
then when you start doing numbers like that, you realize that $1 million that they gave you for a semester,
Mhm.
it's it's minuscule. But
No, I
compared
get
to the rest of the athletes in college
Mhm.
football, you one of the highest paid.
Yeah, I agree. I
So,
agree with that. I agree with that. I agree.
I mean, like I said, it's a different conversation, man. But I'm glad we touched on that because it's gonna tie y'all into
We on
what
fire.
we talking about today, man.
We got a fire lunch break. Let's go. Let's go, man. Let's
Oh
go.
man.
Let's go.
Let's take a look at the chats. We still got JK saying uh this is what he said about Saban. Uh the Saban benefit off the backs of players that didn't have NIL, parlay the lifestyle, multiple Mercedes dealerships. By the way, where I'm from, my S class is service Irondale. Yeah, he's got that Mercedes Benz dealership in Irondale. Bubba, shout out to Bubba, man. Bubba checking in saying,
Oh,
how can you make millions off the backs of athletes and then get mad when they finally get paid? That's
yeah,
very, very, very
true.
true, bro. Very,
Mm-hmm.
very true.
Mm-hmm.
But coaches are getting paid buyouts, millions for not coaching. That is
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
very true. Uh, but they want to limit players, what players get. The same should be limited for coaches too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, that
Yeah.
is it. Like it's what DC was saying. Let's put a
Yeah.
limit on, put a
Mm-hmm.
cap on y'all. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it said, why didn't Saban talk about putting limits on ticket prices, parking around the stadium,
Right, right.
$15?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, why didn't they go to
Uh,
Congress with that? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Congress
man.
step
Yeah,
in
yeah.
on that. Yeah,
Hey, he's
it's
not lying because
amazing.
you go to a game,
Mhm.
you gonna be out of at least $25, $30 before you even, at minimum, yeah,
Bro, when you
before you
step
even
out
get
the
to the
car.
stadium.
Yeah, when you step out
Yeah,
the
you
car,
got
man.
before you
40,
get out the
50.
car.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Depending on where you park,
Man,
it's
what?
ridiculous,
Mhm.
man. And then you still gotta walk a mile. You like,
Yeah,
"Man, I paid to park here and
yeah.
I still,
Let
gotta
Congress
walk."
let Congress get in the middle of that, please.
Said Bubba Tim said, "Bubba, they had the perfect business model, making billions but not paying the pl." I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, it don't get no better
perfect.
than that.
It don't. It don't, bro.
Got Big SARS checking in too. He's saying came in late, but the NCAA's definitely got the handle on the money and that those athletes are being paid for Congress. Yeah, yeah, they
Has to
do.
get a hound
Uh,
on it? Lord, man,
that has.
I'm the
we
show
got.
must
We
go
gonna
on.
we gonna dive
Show
into
must go
that one,
on.
man.
Show must go on. Go ahead.
We gonna dive
I'ma
into
just follow your
that.
lead, Tez. Go ahead. The show
That
must go
topic, man. We're
on.
gonna
Okay.
dive into that topic at a
Mhm.
later date, man. We gotta slam the brakes in this thing
Later
and
date.
talk about
Yes, sir.
what we here to talk about today.
Okay.
So before we do that though, let's go ahead and visit some of our friends real quick. Um you got Water Cooler Talk Sports over there. The pregame playlist is on the way June 29th, man. Make sure you are checking that out. Let me get this comment off the screen. Uh, yeah, make sure you set your notification bells. Go over there and subscribe so you can check that out. It's gonna be sports. It's gonna be music. It's gonna be culture. It's gonna be everything that you would want in the morning show. So definitely check that out, man. A new morning experience. Change your morning routine. Make this a part of it. So, really, really excited about that when that kicks off, man. Let's see. Then we got Adelines by Chef Country, our favorite chef. Go pay him a visit in Nautagoville, Alabama, where they do it right. You know, get some for lunch. And that way, when you come to lunch breaks, you can be on lunch with us with some Adelines. Ribs, you got the ribs, you got that burger. I forgot the name of the burger. Is it the 51-degree burger or something like that? It's 51 burger. I can't remember the name of it, but
Mhm.
it is a solid burger.
Mhm.
And strawberry banana pudding, all of that, man. Go pay Edward a visit, man. Chef Country over at Adelines in the Tacoville, man. And then us, you watching it right now. Lunch breaks 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Where we slow the conversation down, have some real conversations. And then you got SECZN Live on Tuesdays, most interactive SEC experience on the planet. 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Uh, in the middle of the Fans versus Day series right now, where we visit each and every game in the SEC season in 2026. We're going into week 12, just did week 11. So we're almost at the end of that, man. So make sure you guys are subscribed so you can be a part of that, be a part of the conversation, man. Don't just watch, be a part of the show, man. And with that subscription, earns you a membership in the Keyboard Collective, where they're always taking memberships. So go ahead. If you want to donate to the name, image, and likeness of SECZN, all you got to do is hit the comment button, right? Drop a comment. That's it. Simple as that. Let us know you're here. Right? So, yeah, man, that is it for the get this off the screen. That is it for that little bit of housekeeping, man. We were right at the point where we gonna slam the brakes on this thing. Listen, we got our lunch table question of the day. When was the last time you checked your voter's registration? Looks like most people say recently. 60% of the people saying recently. All right, that's great. I'm glad people are tapped in that way. Um, so before we, well, not before, but as we get into this thing, second, as we get into this thing, let's go ahead and pull up what we're talking about today, real quick. And what we're talking about is the boycott effect, right? The $1.1 billion secret SEC power versus black political power. Uh, so kind of a visualization of how this episode will go. What kind of some of the topics we're gonna talk about. $1.1 billion in revenue. We'll talk about the talent gap between the different races at schools. And we're gonna touch on the 8 schools, eight states that were targeted by NAACP. Then we're gonna talk about the 63 ruling, Supreme Court ruling that rendered Section 2 of the Voters' Right Act pretty much a dead letter. Uh, $72.54 million worth of school revenue that is generated, and the sacrifice. What are we asking of these kids, right? What sacrifices are we asking of these kids? So uh that's how this one's gonna go, man. And as we before we get into conversations here, we got a beat on the table to start this conversation. So let's get to it. Well, all right, man. So let's get this off the screen real quick. All right, so we're getting into it. The NCAA's requests for African American athletes. And let's go ahead and start by putting a graphic up on the board real quick. Get into this thing. Actually, that's the wrong slide, guys. Let's start at the beginning. All right. The $1.1 billion contradiction is what we're looking at here. And basically, we got states, 8 states, that you know just made it legal to erase black political power, while the entire athletic program and identity depends on, uh, well, I'm sorry, scratch that. These states made it illegal to erase black political power, while the entire athletic identity depends on black athletic power. The contradiction there, it has a shelf life. In this episode, we're gonna talk about who decides when that whole thing collapses and when that whole thing breaks. Um, so a state legally cannot erase black political power while its entire identity depends on black athletic power. Right? That's a contradiction. Like this is kind of how we got here in a nutshell. Um, and so let's go to the next one. All right, so let's talk about this part. You got Louisiana versus Calais. And then on April 29th, 2026, the Supreme Court handed down a 6-2 decision uh, in this ruling in the voting, pretty much dismantling the Voting Rights Act. Uh, the background, if just a quick background of it, in 2022, Louisiana drew a congressional map that packed majority of the black cities into one district, stripping black voters of effective representation across the state. Courts ruled in violation of Section 2 of the Voters' Right Act. The provision says that provision is the one that says that you can't draw maps to dilute minority of voting power. Louisiana was ordered to redraw the map with two majority black districts. They did. Two black Louisianans went to Congress for the first time in history. Then a group of non-black voters sued, claiming that the new map itself uh, was an illegal racial gerrymander. Supreme Court at 6-3, along with party lines, agreed with them and struck the corrected map and sent it back. So that's kind of how we got here. You see that quote from Justice Elena Kagan. Today's decision renders Section 2 all but a dead letter. Right, so it's pretty much killing that whole section of it. Uh, and immediately after that, that ruling dropped. Florida had a special legislation session to redraw congressional maps within hours of that decision. So they didn't even it didn't even take them long. It was within 1 hour they were within a couple hours they were redrawing their maps. Um, And now you got other states rushing to redistrict. There's a hot topic now in Alabama. It's on the news. When you turn on the news now, Alabama's one of those states. Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Tennessee, Texas, Mississippi, and South Carolina. Um, and that's kind of where we gonna land a little bit, man, and just kind of talk about that part real quick. Uh, so that's kind of how we got here. Get that off the board. All right. Yeah, DC. I think we got Ant joining us too. Let me see.
Okay.
Ant, you in the building?
Anthony.
Yeah.
Hey
What's
man,
happening?
Ant's back. Anthony.
Hold on, man. Let me see if I can put the audio. Man.
And I'm
There. So we, and I get to you, and just a lot of background noise, but DC, man,
Mhm.
how do you feel about that? Just on the surface, how we land here. This is kind of how we got to where the NCAA's request. So everything prior to that.
NAACP? And who's request?
I'm sorry, NAACP's request on Black
Oh,
athletes.
okay, okay,
And
okay,
this is,
okay, okay.
but what I'm asking is, how do you feel about the slides that I just put up when it comes to the actual voting rights? Because that's kind of how we landed here.
Mm-hmm.
On the NCAA making the request to Black. So I wanted to talk about that part of it too.
Man, I'm gonna start here, man. I think um where we are, man, is a bigger problem of us dealing with symptoms and not the problem. That's why I
Mhm.
think we are here where we are, and all the congressional maps are being drawn. We're just dealing with symptoms of the problem, man. It's like, I'm gonna give you an example, Tez. If you were my neighbor and
Mhm.
my battery in um my car has a problem and it's draining my battery, and then I go out in the morning and it won't crank, right? So everybody follow me. I go over your house and I knock on your door at like 3 in the morning, because that's when I go to work. And I wake you up. Tez, man, my battery ran dead again, man. Can you give me a jump? And then you come out and you give me a jump. And I continue to do this same thing. Eventually, you're going to say, DC, bro, unhook the battery or do something to deal with the symptoms. I mean, to deal with the direct problem, and stop coming over here dealing with the symptoms. You know, unhook the battery so it won't run dead. Just deal with the problem, bro, or go get another car. You feel what I'm saying? Eventually. And I say that to say this. We're talking about gerrymandering and redistricting, you know, but the problem is people don't go to the polls, because if people would go to the polls, that is the button I can touch that would deal with you wouldn't be dealing with none of this if people would
Control
go
what
to
you
the
can control.
poll 100%. But you're like kind of dealing with all these ripple effects of all these crazy things going on in people with their political posturing. But if everybody would exercise their right to vote, you wouldn't have them in the office to be doing all of this crazy stuff. If you look at, man, voter registration against people that are eligible to vote but don't vote, bro, a third of the country does not vote, bro. And it's people, it doesn't matter your race. When people storm Normandy for people to vote, people walked across Selma and got dogs sticked on them to vote. But yet 30% of the population does not vote. So, okay, so if DC had a magic wand, right? And riddle me this one. Everybody listening, everybody in the chat, riddle me this one. If DC had a magic wand and DC swung his wand and all of the voter districting, everything they're trying to do with the voter districting, redistricting, everything, it was just rolled back the way it was before they started. Okay, I'm waving my magic wand for nothing because people still not gonna come and vote. What am I trying to roll it back for? People not gonna vote when we roll it. If everybody boycott, the athletes leave all of the schools and do all of that, and then they roll it back to where it was, guess what? It's still in vain because the people not voting. It doesn't, you see what I'm saying? It's like, dude, it's dealing with a symptom of something that you kind of getting rah-rah about, which, man, you should, about your rights and stuff. Don't get me wrong. You should. But what I'm saying is, what is the end result if everybody boycotted in America and they rolled it back? Bro, what is it going to do? Because people still don't go vote. It's just going to be, we just rolling it back to somebody not voting. Like, what is the purpose? You see what I'm saying? My thing is, bro, I understand you have to make moves when you feel your rights are violated. Don't get me wrong. I just think, bro, I think people are shooting at the wrong target. You know what I'm saying? That goes for like the NAACP. That's just my opinion. The NAACP. And that's even a greater thing for American politics, man. You know, people in America as general, and you can like go down to a granular level and deal with different ethnic groups. But even just from a general level, bro, we do not exercise our civic rights to vote. So why would somebody like lose their job fighting for something that people are not going to vote anyway? So my thing is, bro, I think the NAACP, bro, should like really focus their efforts and all of this stuff on getting people to the polls. If you get people to the polls to vote in mass numbers, then you can get those people out of office that are doing the things you don't agree with. It's not like it was before when you didn't have the right to vote. So you had this concentration of power to boycott to get the right to vote. Right now you have the right and the power to vote where you can just remove the people that are making the policy. But you still trying to do something, concentrate the power to boycott, and there's nothing wrong with that because that's powerful. But it would be more powerful if you got 100% of the people to the polls. That would be far more powerful. It would be unprecedented because you can immediately change the policy. But we sitting here dealing, fighting the ripple effects of the policy when you need just get the person out that's making the policy. That's simple. And what does it take? What does it take for somebody to go to the polls? They don't have to lose $1 million in NIL revenue. They could just put $5 worth of, well, not $5 worth of, they could put $10 worth of gas to get to the polls and put their lever and go back home and go to sleep, and everybody could be happy. But we're trying to get somebody to lose $1 million when they can just, everybody could just put $5 in their gas tank and go vote and remove the person that you don't agree with the policy. That's any American, regardless of race, culture, creed, or anything, bro. It's simple. That's just DC, you know. But again, I'm not trying to belittle when you say somebody is trying to infringe on your rights. Don't get it twisted. I'm just saying that, man, the method in which we're trying to make changes, like, bro, we trying to climb this big mountain when you don't have to climb a mountain to make the change. You could just do something simple, like you said. Think about it. Look at the poll you just made, Tez. How many people checked the voter registration recently and then didn't put up the poll? And watch the numbers. It's reflecting what I'm saying. It's about 60% of the people are interested. The other, you know what I'm saying, 40% of the people not even checking their voter registration. You see what I'm saying? Either maybe I did or I'm not. You see what I'm saying? Look at the, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro,
the results have reset, I think. No,
yeah, but it was like, I remember you said something about 60%. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it lands right there.
Recently.
That 60% is got something going on where they're actively vigilant about it, and 40% is not. So it's like you're asking somebody to like lose millions of dollars and all this stuff, which is fine if you want to do that. I'm not arguing with that on the method. I'm just saying I think it's misguided from the perspective of, dude, you got it showed in the polls just that we're taking right here. 40% of the people not. It's like we rolling back. You know what I'm saying? We gonna boycott and stop lunch breaks for 40% of the people still not to vote. You need to deal with the voting, but
look,
I digress, Tez.
I got you. I mean, I got you, man. Listen, bro. I understand. I do think that there is one element to what you said that's an interesting comment. That Nick, shout out to Nick, man. Because people not going to the polls is actually a symptom. The problem is bigger than that. I think that's very, very true. Like, it's like,
what is it?
Well, you have one. You got gerrymandering going on. So you have people in places where they don't feel like they vote count. Like it is. How can I say it? It's a larger problem than just getting out the vote, I think. And if you truly want to correct it, like, you have to go to the core of it and all of that. But I don't want to go too far off the top, because I know how this type of conversation
for sure
around this subject can just go into a bunch of different directions, man. But what you said is true. Like, people vote if you vote elected officials out that are supporting nonsense, then you won't have to deal with them in the first place. And then just from a complaint statement, like, it's hypocritical to complain about a system if you haven't voted.
Man, speak on it, bro. Speak on it.
It just is. I mean, whether you think your vote counts or not, like, if anything, your vote is almost earning you the ability to be able to criticize the system and complain about it. So it is important from that standpoint. Let's go ahead. Let's see. Let's go to the next one, man. No, we got a few comments. Let's check these out. Go back up to the top. There's a lot of depth to this conversation. I wish I could join. Man, Nick, I think you had a link, bro. If you want to hop on, let's go. By all means. Let's see. We got Tight Sports Alabama Megacast, man. Shout out to Tight. He's saying 40% of us don't vote. I'm going to ask these kids to step away from money unless everybody stays away from Walmart and their government job and the like. Yeah, we gonna talk about that too. Um, and then he says that in NAACP is grandstanding because the portal. I think he's what he's saying. The portal doesn't open till December. Yeah, that's very true, very true. So let's get this. Let's move this off the board real quick and then get back into this here. Um, so here's the machine of that kind of runs this whole thing. It runs on black, right? So you have we're using the SEC because this is SEC season. We want to talk about it. And the 8 schools are primary. The 8 states are primary SEC states. So we have an SEC angle here. $1.1 billion in revenue. Um, as you can see, like all of these things affect said revenue. Like there's not one thing that I think that you could remove from this. And then it would just exist, right? You got the black communities, you have black athletes, you have the ESPN, the media aspect of it. You have state legislators who are making legislations that benefit the schools within these states, particularly the ones within the SEC. And then also we have the math of the whole thing. You got 40% of black athletes in college football, D1 basketball. Uh, D1 basketball is 44%. Uh, and then the black Americans in targeted states, 56% is the number there. 56% of all black Americans live in the 8 targeted states: Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas. And that is a stat that when you think about that one, that one kind of is it jumps out at you like 56% of all black Americans stay within eight states. In those 8 states, half of our demographic is residents of those 8 states. That's kind of. Did you guys know that?
I
Did
didn't
you
know
know
that.
that, DC?
Did not know that, man.
I think Ann in here. Ann, did you know that?
Did not know that, man. That's a new one on me.
Yeah, that was a wild one. The SEC schools in the redrawn skates is 13 schools, so pretty much over half of the conference, easily, almost all of the conference are within this whole thing. So like I'm gonna take this off the board real quick, and I am going to. All right, I'm going to put up another question. And that poll question it's actually a test. Test of the graphic that we just put up.
Oh God, man.
And this one should be easy, man. Tough. All right, and that one is get it on the screen. And that question is around what percentage of SEC football rosters are black? I just put the answer on the board, so I can't answer this one because I know the answer. But around what percentage? Let me get Ann on the board. I think he's in the back. All right, Ann. Yeah.
Yo,
This is a trick question, man.
I mean, it's not.
It's a trick question. Man.
do I sound better?
It's a trick question.
Yeah.
No one paying
Much better.
attention.
Okay, I had to fix some shit. All right, how y'all doing? Y'all good? Y'all great? DC, yeah. Tez want to bring me in. He want to bring me in. Talking about it's test day.
Yeah, he bring you on. That's what I came in on the test last time too, Ant.
Man, this crazy work, man.
Don't listen to me because you might flunk.
Oh Lord.
Listen to me because you might flunk, bro.
So,
all right, Tez.
All you got to do is type your answer in the chat to this question. Around what percentage of SEC rosters do you think are black?
I want to change mine to 40.
What's the ABCD?
I think you said 40.
You got 25%, you got 40%, and then you have 60%.
You said 40. Did you say 45%?
I think it's CDC. I think it's CDC.
No, bro. I said 60, bro.
That's what I'm
Tyson,
thinking.
he knew that 6% of African Americans stay in the South. That's why it's imperative to push the vote to 90%. It's very true. If the NAACP and Congressional Black Caucus is real about HBCU attendance, they should start a collective. Members of the CBC have to be worth $250 million or $300 million together. Yeah, you're right. We're gonna talk about them too. So we got 60%. 60% is what you guys are saying. Again, if you're watching this completely interactive, all you got to do is comment in the chat the answer that you think this question to be. What percentage of SEC rosters are Black? So, what on average, what percentage of the rosters are made up of African Americans? And it's like got a lot of people saying that they think it's we got 100% of the votes going into 60% right now.
Really?
Yeah. The 60% is what is it looking like. The actual answer to that, I'm gonna go ahead and answer that for you by just putting the graphic back on the board that we just had on the board. And it's 40%.
I said it. I said I want to change mine to 40%.
40%.
I knew it. Yeah, I want to change. That's what I said. I want to change it to 40. Yeah.
See, that's what I get for listening to DC.
Bro, I said I changed it to 40. You heard me say that. You heard me say
32,100.
I changed my answer to 40, man. What are you talking about, Ant?
It was too late by then.
I changed it, Ant.
I had already said 60 by then.
But I told you I changed it to 40. I said don't.
Man.
Rewind the tape, man.
You got to rewind the tape.
One of us got to be paying attention to these test days.
Bro, I gave you the right answer. I said I changed it to 40.
Yeah, but it was too late. I had already said 60.
At that point.
Come on, man. All right.
At that point, you just doing what you want to do, Ant. You just doing what you want to do at that point.
What? Man. Go ahead.
Oh man, y'all hilarious, man. So let's take a look here. Went too far. Wow, I'm just going through all of them. The countermeasure, the out of bounds campaign. So let's get into what they actually asked of African American athletes, right? The NCAA, I keep saying NCAA, but the NAACP's response to this whole thing. Which is the out of bounds campaign. You can see that there. And this was 21 days after the ruling. On May the 19th, the NAACP launched this campaign called Out of Bounds. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries stood outside the Capitol in support. And this campaign has 3 demands. And you can see that on the screen where it kind of lands, and it's Black athletes and recruits should withhold their commitments from targeted programs and seriously consider HBCUs instead. Now, it wasn't demanded HBCUs, so theoretically, you could just not go to one of these schools and go to Ohio State or Oregon. Or, you know what I mean? You don't have to settle. They're not just asking, specifically for you to settle towards HBCUs. They're saying seriously consider them. Current college athletes should use their platform to pressure universities to take public stances against redistricting moves. And the last one is fans, alumni, me, you, people in the chat, should direct their financial support away from these programs and towards HBCUs. Right? The targeted states are Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas. 13 of the 16 SEC schools. And the quote at the bottom from Derrick Johnson, the NAACP president, is a powerful one. Black athletes should not be asked to generate wealth, prestige, and power for state institutions while those same states strip political power from Black communities. You ask yourself why the SEC? Well, that's not random, right? That's not random that they picked the SEC or these schools specifically because it's geared towards a specific cause. Um, so let's get this one on the. Let's get another question on the board. We saw that 40%, right? So if the 40% left, let me reset this. Type. The 40% left, would it hurt? Would it actually hurt the SEC financially? Right? What do you guys think about that? If that 40% of black players decided they wanted to leave these schools, how would it impact the SEC financially?
Man, that's a loaded question, Taz, because at face value you might think it would. But okay,
Right.
just say for instance, if the 40% did leave, and then the remaining support says, you know what, we just gonna support anyway, and we're gonna double our donations, then it will have no effect. So you saying people just looking at it as a net loss, like the dominoes are just gonna fall like that. But it's like I remember when the stock happened with GameStop stock, when
Mhm.
all of the people were against corporate. So the stock was supposed to fall and corporate was shorting the stock, but the people band together and just kept start buying the stock and kept buying the stock, and the price kept going up, which was against the norm because the people get band together. So you can have an inverse effect of, and I don't know if people have thought about this. You can have an inverse effect of black athletes leaving. You know what I'm saying? You could have
Right.
a core of people say, okay, we're gonna show them. So okay, now instead of I gave $10 million a year, I'm gonna give 70 million now. We're gonna make the
Right.
revenue go up, and then it will
Mhm.
have no effect. So I don't know if people are kind of looking at it that way. It just like we're just thinking that, systematically this is what's going to happen, but that's not necessarily so. All of that power is in the hands of the consumer also. You got to look at every other demographic and consumer group has a say so in it. If you leave, then everybody else could be like, okay, y'all just gonna leave, so okay, we're gonna like galvanize, and we're gonna donate, and we're gonna give more, and we're gonna attend more games. We're gonna make sure we pack out the stadium regardless
Right.
of what the product looks like. So
It's
then
on,
you're losing.
How sustainable you think that is? How
but
long
I
do
think
you
it's
think
very
but it's on.
on
sustainable.
this
I think it's very
double
sustainable
donations that they're
if
making now?
if you have a will, bro, if you have a will, it's very sustainable. Just like there was a will to obtain these voting rights, and you had people die for it. Then I can imagine
Right.
people would be like, "Well, how sustainable is this?"
Right.
They died for it, what they
Mhm.
believe. So it was very sustainable because they were like, "Bro, nothing else matters. That I gotta prove this point." So you have people like that will prove a point, bro, till they
So
die. You feel me?
so you think it
So it
wouldn't
could be very sustainable. You
Yeah,
know,
think it
could
wouldn't
be.
hurt certain sports though?
what I'm saying
True.
is, yes, maybe the talent level, yes, but that's not the bottom line. When you deal with college sports, the bottom line is revenue. You feel what I'm
Financial.
saying? If you have a mindset where you like, okay, dude, I'm just gonna support this. I'm gonna buy season tickets even if I don't go to game. Okay, our team is
Mm-hmm.
horrible, but I'm still buying the season tickets. Guess what? You still have the same bottom line. So
Oh,
it's just
No.
that's
it's
not
What
gonna
is the
stop.
sustainable.
product?
You
So
see what
so
I'm
how
saying?
Yeah,
long
that's not gonna
before
stop.
how long before, because Type mentioned it here, how long before, like, if hold on. Well, first of all, before we get into that, guys, if you just not joining us, all you got to do to answer today's poll questions is type your answer in the chat, right? So see, we asked if 40%, we're speaking of black athletes, if 40% the black athletes left, or 40% of the athletes left. Reason why it's 40% is because the rosters are on average 40% African American within the SEC. But we're saying if 40% left, that 40% left, would it actually hurt the SEC financially? Um,
No.
and you can answer that by typing in the chat. Yes, partially. No, I put partially.
Yeah.
Um, this was it was tight saying if the 40% dropped down to 10%, it would affect them. But how do we know folks won't care? It may take
Right.
several years before television contracts gets reduced if viewership does
Right.
reduce.
Right.
So like that would be my question. If you were to take if the product itself got worse, um, I don't think I think that the SEC would be less valuable of a conference. Like I don't
Not
think like no
necessarily,
amount.
Fez. If
I don't
every
think like
if the same amount of viewership happened and the same amount of and
well,
more revenue came in, the conference would be valued the same.
people. That's what I'm saying is like I think that people could consistently, you know, show up for a cause,
Right,
but people are not going to consistently watch bad football and tune in just for the sake of it. That might last about a year. But
bruh.
you're not finna watch the Dud Bowl just for the sake of tuning
Do
in.
you?
Man,
It's
you
like
bro.
just not the way
But do you?
people do now.
Bro, you don't have to watch it. What I'm saying, bro, it's what you can just turn on the TV and be like, I'm gonna turn my TV on the channel. This TV is gonna stay on SEC football in this house.
But
You see what I'm saying?
you
We
have
might
to
not
do
even
that
watch it.
forever.
Right, but I'm saying we might not even watch it, but my TV staying on it. I'm gonna go watch some Big Ten football, but these two TVs staying on SEC football, and you know what I'm saying. I bought a ticket to the game.
You saying people will buy extra TV
Yeah,
just
that's what I'm saying, bro. What I'm saying is,
that's the SEC TV. You don't even
yeah,
have to.
this these no
Nobody touched that one.
both of these are SEC TVs, and nobody. It's on SEC now, and it's on SEC game day. It better stay on SEC, and don't let me come in here and y'all change that channel. I mean, it's not that
That's
hard,
funny, man.
bro. It's really not. It ain't no
I mean,
different than
I don't know
people.
how
It's
sustainable,
not.
like
It's
how
bro.
long that
It's
will
no different
actually
than
last.
people on social media manufacturing views. It's no different, bro.
I mean,
One,
I get
you
that.
know.
I get that. But then, like, even on social media, in that aspect, is like when somebody has a product that is good on social media, it cuts through all of that.
Yeah.
Like there's a difference between you can tell manufactured success from like this is just a good product and it is
Mhm.
taking off. Right. You can see that a mile away. And I think that's what'll happen with football if this would have happened. Like eventually people will look at this and say, like, oh, these views don't match what I'm seeing when I watch these games. Right. And then if that 40% goes somewhere else and they're performing and putting them, that's where the highlights are going, people are gonna gravitate towards that, man. I think over the course of time, I don't think it's something that happens immediately. Over the course of time, and people will gravitate towards like the better product in general.
Really? Is that how it
I,
works?
I think I
Okay,
think
let me ask you this. And this I am not I
over
am
time. Now I'm not saying
I
immediately,
am I am not, you know, disparaging any company. So I am not disparaging any company.
bro.
I'm doing this on the level of what we're saying we'll gravitate toward the better product.
Mhm.
How many people go to McDonald's versus Fuddruckers?
Or McDonald's all day.
Who has the better product?
Probably Fudd Ruggers.
Who makes the
Probably
most
had a better
money?
food
Right. But
than
what I'm
McDonald's.
saying, and that's not necessarily true. That bro, you can support what you want to support, and it might not at eyesight. You know, it don't might not have the same value or the same product, but that doesn't
So
mean McDonald's is not worth way more and is valued more. But they
but
don't not
that's
have the best
but that's different.
product.
That's a tad bit different because McDonald's is a real estate company.
I get that.
So
I agree.
they're gonna be placed in areas where it's gonna be high traffic. It's gonna be the most visible. But Rutgers can't compete with them in terms of location,
So what's the SEC?
and convenience. McDonald's
SEC
sells
SEC
convenience.
has all of the best real estate. They
That is
do.
true. That is true.
ESPN,
And
they're
when it
more
comes to
convenient.
football,
They
yeah,
have all of the best real estate. So as long as
yeah,
they're doing and making revenue, they can keep that real estate. You feel what I'm saying?
Bad
So
yeah.
example, DC.
no, they have the
Mhm.
same real. What I'm saying is the SEC has all of the real estate also. They have all of the SEC network channels,
What's happening,
ABC,
Wade?
all of the TV real estate, bro. They own it. They have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So they have the convenience in real estate also. So, bro, like I said, I'm just giving a alternate point of view. Like
No, no, no. I get it.
people just like, yeah, we just do A and then B is gonna happen. I'm just saying that might
Could
not
have.
necessarily happen. A
But you
might
could have said
happen, and then you
McDonald's.
like
You could
might
have
be like,
said.
hmm?
Could have said McDonald's and Waffle House.
Well, okay.
I mean,
You
I'm
know,
just saying,
okay.
like McDonald's
Fuck,
gonna make
fuck Ruckus
McDonald's make
did come
more
out the
money, but
blue.
yeah, for you're not gonna find Fudd Ruckers there, bro. A lot of people don't know about Fudd Ruckers. Fudd
Okay.
Ruckers is good though.
Okay.
It
Okay.
is
They are
good.
good,
Okay.
but a
Yeah,
lot of people don't
Fudd
know
Ruckus
about
Okay,
Fudd
my
Ruckers.
bad.
We don't have a Fudd Ruckers.
I'm
We don't
sorry.
have a
lunch
Fudd
break,
Ruckers
brother.
in Alabama.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
DC, I'm trying to help you on your example, sir.
I
That's all.
beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. I'm sorry. Bro.
I'm trying to help you,
Should've
bro.
said Waffle House,
It's not.
man.
It's not like that.
Shout out to
I mean,
Fudd
like,
Ruckus, man.
Yeah. Thank you for
yeah,
looking
shout
out
out to
for me.
Fudd Ruckers though.
Thank you for looking out for me.
I
Man.
got you. I got you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
If y'all watching from Fudd Ruckus, man, send us some food. to review
Exactly,
on lunch
man.
breaks,
Please. Or McDonald's. Or McDonald's.
No, I don't
Yeah,
eat
both of
McDonald's.
y'all
I don't eat
send us a
McDonald's.
meal, and we'll tell you. I
Yeah.
can already kind of tell you which way I'm gonna lean, but send food anyway.
That part.
All right, so let's get back into it right here.
Let's
All
go,
right,
man.
so
Let's go.
we asked a question about the financials, right? So let's take a look at the logistics of this whole thing, right?
Yes, sir.
And is it even possible, right?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? We want to lay out all the information. And there's three friction points there, and I think Ty brought this up. Hey, the portal is locked in December, right? So this can't even materialize until next year, right? There's also a geography trap here where you have most HBCUs are in the same states with those schools that they're asking. Those 8 targeted states, got examples there: Grambling, Jackson State, Alabama State. They're in the same state. Changing the stadium does not change the political environment. So, yeah, FAMU's the example. So, in other words, if you were to transfer from Alabama to Alabama State, you're still going to be under the same political climate, facing the same gerrymandering rules. And in fact, you probably you'll be on the other end of it, right? So whereas a student at Alabama would be almost benefiting from gerrymandering rules and laws, you'll be on the other aspect of it in places like Alabama State or places where that are getting zoned out. And then friction point number 3, the house settlement, right? And that legally allows $20.5 million per school. We know that's going up. Indirect revenue sharing. Leaving, it means abandoning guaranteed generational wealth that HBCUs currently cannot match. Now, I want to speak on that just a tad. Now, the $20.5 million per school is for a 5-star, for everyone else that it's major. For a 5-star athlete, I'd argue that it doesn't really matter because your name, image, and likeness is not dependent upon. Hold on a second. Your name, image, and likeness is not dependent upon what school you at, right? This is your name, your image, your likeness. If you are influential and you can get followers and stuff on your own and influence the masses, you don't even have to play football. Like I think people have to understand, like, name, image, and likeness is this. It really has absolutely nothing to do with the game of football. Like, all of us have it, right? Everybody that's on this stage right now has a name, image, and a likeness, right? What that's worth is, totally up to, what you're doing in your life to drive your name, image, and likeness up. Right. So the some part of the conversation is like these kids are having that sacrifice, and it's like, to a degree, but like if you are, for example, Travis Hunter goes to Colorado, his name, image, and likeness is the same. At Jackson State, he was still, able to get brand deals worth millions of dollars. It wasn't because he was playing at a specific school, it's because he's Travis Hunter. So you have to understand that portion of it. Now, the guaranteed money via the house settlement, that's a whole different thing there. Um, and in terms of money, we've already talked about we already talked about let's go to or did we talk about that? Yeah, we already talked about the
Mhm.
$1.1 billion
Mhm.
revenue from the SEC, um, where at the end of the 2025 fiscal year they generated $1.1 billion, averaged $72.4 million per school. That ESPN deals over $3 billion. Then you have 40% of the players are black. 40% of all D1 basketball, 44% of all D1 basketball players are black, and then 56% of um these these 56% of these of African Americans stay in these 8 targeted states. All right. Um so and now let's get into as we move into the next one. Now let's get into this right here. All right. This is what I want to compare, right? You got 2 timelines, 1 body. If an athlete boycotts, were to boycott, what would they be walking away from? Be walking away from that NIL exposure, as I just explained it. You'd be walking away from your cut of the $20.5 million in rev share. You'll be walking away from an NFL pipeline. You sacrificing elite scouting, development infrastructure. These schools in these states that we're talking about have elite facilities, elite training programs, elite coaching, the best of the best. So, like, if your goal is to get to the NFL, these are the best ways to do that. Um, and is this recoverable? It's painful, but individually it's recoverable. Not for the same reasons, but we seen it done. Like I said, the example of a Travis Hunter didn't take the path of going to one of these schools at all. Even when he transferred into Power Five competition, it was Colorado, right? So, and he was still able to generate wealth from a STEM. Now, a lot of that may have been the Dion machine happening there too. You can't discount the Coach Prime effect. Um, but I do think it's important to think about what happens if gerrymandering stands and this continues, right? As I'm about to go down this list, I want you guys to understand that the things I'm about to say are the things that are on this side are happening, right, to the same communities that these kids that are being asked to boycott are coming from,
I
right?
feel a
That's
test,
why I said
DC.
this is a complex problem. This is a complex problem. This is not just, it's not, in other words, their hometowns, the high schools that they graduate from, their hometowns, their home neighborhoods. This is the effects that will happen if this thing continues. Um, Healthcare cut, right? Gerrymandering districts block Medicaid expansion, leaving thousands of uh black black people uninsured, right? You got school funding, federal funding for schools, Head Starts, housing, healthcare infrastructure. Uh, it's all this is census based. So uh, when you redraw those districts, uh, that gets affected financially. The Thurgood Marshall Institute estimates the census data drives over $675 billion annually in federal allocations. You strip representation, you cut off federal funding pipeline as a source to a lot of these communities, right? So essentially, what I'm saying is you graduate from a high school this year, and in 5, 6 years, that high school may not be there no more because they don't have funding, right? That's a real possibility. Environmental justice. When black communities lose political representation, they get a toxic burden. They get a highway through their neighborhood, right? You can't protect your neighborhoods no more. That's where landfills get put down the street. Industrial plants with no accountability. And because your representative doesn't need your vote anymore, so they don't have to care about your neighborhood at all. gerrymandering does not just kill democracy; it kills people, right? A very powerful quote there, and it's is this recovery recovery status of that? Is it recoverable? It's multi generational, right? It takes a while for you recover from the effects of this, and some of it we still haven't recovered from. Like some of where we sit, some of the jobs that we have, some of our lives right now are the result of things like this. So when I look at that, I ask the balances of it all. Like I said, I'm not. I don't want to. I don't want to influence anybody either way. Like that's not the goal of this. But just to put all the information out on the table and really put it in perspective, what happens if I'm not saying that boycotting is the answer, but like if gerrymandering continues, the result of it is, hey, some of these kids who do get to the NFL and make all of this money, they may not have a home to come back to, right? Uh, so what do we think about that part of it? Like when you weigh kind of like the long term effects of both decisions. And like I said, it's not about picking a side, but just like when you weigh the long term effects of both decisions, it's kind of clear to me like both of them are a problem, right? It's one of those two things can be true type situation.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, man, I think both are a problem, man. You know what I'm saying? You have, but it's like sometimes with some problems, man, you can't erase what half of the problem is. You can only deal with what you got to do. And man, I'm not backing up off, what I'm saying, just from,
Go ahead.
an ethnic level and from a general American level, man. We do not exercise our right. You know what I'm saying? And people can say,
Yeah.
it's a greater problem. You know what I'm saying? If you are greater obstacles, but bruh, let somebody say, hey, in order to get your check on Fridays, from now on, in order to get your check from work, you're gonna have your birth certificate. You're gonna have your driver's license. You know, bruh. Guess who gonna have their birth certificate and driver's license? Everybody that worked there because they want to get paid. They won't be like, well, I'm just that's not gonna count. So I'm not gonna worry about getting paid, but I'll be to work, dude. You gonna do what's necessary to get a paycheck. But when
Sure is.
it's just like anything, yeah, it's an excuse. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
it's an excuse, bro. If they said that same thing on all of our jobs, that we needed to bring our paycheck, gas bill, light bill, birth certificate, passport, and your child, bring them all to get your check, bro. Bro, hey,
So that was the
baby,
minimum.
get the kids ready. I gotta go get my check
Right.
now. Get the kids ready, man. Where's my birth
So
certificate? Oh, she'll be like, baby, it's by the table. Everything will be
I
set
ain't
up for
got
me to go get
Uh,
my check.
like I ain't got no shoes on. You don't
Yeah,
mean
bro.
it.
I don't care. Get in the car, man. I gotta go get my check now. Stop playing.
I, I look at it. I look at it like this from a different perspective. We'll
Okay.
just like take Alabama for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all know West Alabama is made up of mostly black.
Okay.
In both situations, it hurts West Alabama because if you try to send your kids to a good predominant school where they'll get a better education than some HBCUs, then this boycott is gonna hurt them because they're gonna look at it as, well, this kid might be a 4-star and his academic status is great, but I don't want to take him. He might get on campus and cause a lot of trouble. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you do go along with it, and like you said, Tez, it's just like a lot of regenification going on. A lot of those cities that's over there, then what? They gonna be turned into something. Like, it's really a no-win. If you look at it, it's kind of a no-win situation.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think it's a tough one, man. So we got a new poll question in the chat, and it's a simple one. Is the NAACP's boycott fair to acts of 17-year-old recruits? You can answer that simply, man, by typing in the chat yes, no, or maybe. I'm gonna just go with no.
Yeah, I'm going with no also.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
No,
with no. No, I don't think it's fair to act. I don't think
it's
it's fair to act. acts of
These
any,
kids don't know about
to be
they
honest.
don't know about political stuff like that when they coming out of high school. They're not really worried about that right now.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
and
I don't
two,
think it's I don't think
nobody.
it's fair to ask of anyone. Like, I
Yeah,
don't think it's fair for me to ask you to stand up for a
yeah,
cause. Like, that should come from within. Like, you
right.
should just want to do
Uh-huh.
that,
Okay,
no
yeah,
matter whether
y'all,
it's kids or
yeah,
not.
yeah, y'all leave y'all the people that are
What's
asking them to
happening,
do it
CJ?
are y'all leaving y'all job. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, am
Right,
I
right.
gonna ask them to do something, but I'm going to my job and my lights and everything on. I'm good, but y'all go do it, and I'm gonna go to sleep, and y'all go do whatever. It's like, bro,
That part.
if you're gonna be asking somebody to do something, man, it's hard to ask your kids to do something when they like, Daddy, you don't be exercising. You know, that's the first thing they gonna, like, bro, you
So
supposed to be the example. You know what I'm saying? So,
so I
it,
see
mhm,
I see it like this, DC, and we
mhm,
both been in the industry, right? So
mhm,
if you look at trucking, right,
mhm,
it's always a battle between brokers and drivers.
mhm,
Drivers feel like we're not getting paid enough. Brokers feel like we're getting paid enough and we're not taking nothing from you.
mhm.
Some of these drivers want to boycott, but let's just be honest. The ones that's talking about boycotting, y'all are not finna stop driving.
Right, right.
Because you
And
getting a
Right.
check on Friday. You're not getting a check if these wheels ain't turning.
right. So it's just like, bro,
Man, you
that's the
sound like
thing.
me, man.
You telling everybody else to do something like, but you're going to your job getting your check. That come on,
Right.
bro. Like, come on,
That's
bro.
a
Like,
double man.
yeah,
Uh,
it's like
You
yeah,
very contradictory
DC,
now.
you leave your job, and I'm in my Benz driving to my job. You're like, what?
I mean, that's funny. Like, that's a great segue. I think to the next part of this, man. And this is an interesting one, man. When we talk about this, is why I asked, do you think it's fair to ask a 17-year-old to sacrifice, right? And we look at some of the past sacrifices throughout time when it comes to sports and the African American side of it. Um, and we have, got some examples up there. Um, a lot of times the historical aspect comes into play. Writers, critics, a lot of black voices who even people who support the NAACP's goal uh have made the same argument, but this think that this is the wrong ask aimed at the wrong people, made by an
Mhm,
organization that is not sharing that sacrifice. A lot, like DC said. From Black America Web, this quote comes from Black America Web. Legacy civil rights organizations should not have to beg black teenagers to rescue voting rights in the 21st century. They should be they should not be leaning on 17 to 18-year-olds to dramatize the urgency of a crisis that has been unfolding since the 70s. The fact that we have arrived at this point where the burden is being shifted onto student athletes tells us something painful about the limits of our existing civil rights machinery. That's a mouthful, but that is, I mean, I don't know, DC. That quote sounds exactly like what you were saying.
yeah, yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
um,
absolutely.
the Hill offered a blunter version of that quote. The NAACP risk nothing. Its executives keep their salaries. Its donors keep their relationships. The cost falls entirely on those whose labor built the revenue. That is not solidarity. That is a business model.
Mm, mm,
Okay.
mm.
Uh, Couple supporters of the boycott. There's a counter argument being made. Well, from a historical standpoint, you got, of course, Hakeem Jeffries. Um, he's invoked the he invoked the lineage of athletes that made political sacrifices. Jackie Robinson's, Bill Russell's, Muhammad Ali, Tommy Smith, John Carlos, Colin Kaepernick. The argument is that black athletes have always been asked to stand up, and history honors those who did. That argument is powerful, right? It is, but it contains a flaw worth examining carefully, and that's what this slide kind of details. You got Muhammad Ali. refused induction into the draft in 1967 at age of 25. He was stripped of the heavyweight title, banned from boxing for 3.5 years in his prime, faced a 5-year federal prison sentence. Then you got Tommy Smith and John Carlos. Remember, they raised their hands up in 1968 on the Olympic podium. They were ejected from the games, received death threats, had their career effectively ended. And then Bill Russell, he won 11 championships, right? But he boycotted exhibition games in cities that discriminated against his teammates. And then we all know the Jackie Robinson story. Broke the color barrier in 1947 under the conditions of extreme psychological violence, right? And on the other side of that thing, you have the requested sacrifices with no infrastructure. 17-year-old recruits, institution issue, an institution issuing a press release asking teenagers to sacrifice their singular economic trajectory with no financial fund built to catch it. Right. So this is where they stand. In calling for today's athletic boycott, the NAACP has not discussed the imperative of embedding any athlete boycott effort in a broader popular political movement context. This is from Dr. Harry Edwards of The Nation. And before I move from this slide, I do want to touch on like where this argument kind of breaks apart. Ali Smith, Carlos, and Robinson, like the people that you see on the left, none of them were asked by outside organizations
Right.
to sacrifice their careers in a press release.
That would
They
be
made
my
personal
question.
choice.
Right. Exactly.
These were personal choices made
Right.
about their own bodies,
Mhm.
their own competition. Ali was already a heavyweight champion, right?
Mhm.
When he refused the draft. His sacrifice was enormous, but he was 25 years old, choosing his own path at the time.
Mhm.
The NAACP, excuse me, is telling the NAACP campaign is telling somebody else's teenagers to sacrifice their futures. The more
Mhm.
weight, essentially, is of the more weight of the chosen sacrifice is, and the more weight of the requested sacrifice are not the same thing.
Mhm.
And this quote, this powerful kind of sums it up. A movement that inspires individual courage is not the same as an organization that that issues a press release asking
Mhm.
for it.
Right.
Um,
Absolutely.
and let's see.
Uh, uh, uh.
Lastly, we already mentioned Muhammad Ali and Bill Russell. Like I said, these were established athletes. The athletes the NAACP is targeting are 17-year-olds whose family may have generational poverty, who have the opportunity to change their economic trajectory, and who have yet to make it. Asking someone who already has made a sacrifice is categorically different from asking someone who hasn't yet.
Mhm.
Um, which is, you know,
That's what I was.
kind of
That's what I was finna
where we
say
land
too.
here. Kind of where we land here. Let's see what we have. Um, let's go ahead and get into this. What's missing from this, right? Because these are the invisible adults in this equation, right? Uh, and let's talk about them because nobody is. Um, Coaches and their ads are invisible. You see that,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
nowhere to be found.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Not a meeting, not a, they're in meetings now talking about whether athletes should get paid or not. But
Right.
they're not touching on
Right.
this at
Right.
all with a 10-foot pole. Herbie
Mhm.
Smart makes $13 million a year at Georgia. Every
Mhm.
major SEC program has a head coach pulling in 7 to 10 figures, running a program built uh, almost entirely on black talent in a state that just stripped black voting power.
Mhm.
And you don't have none of the coaches speaking about this.
Mhm.
The NAACP didn't mention a single coach by name. The sacrifice is being asked entirely of the people with the least institutional power in the building. The coaches,
Mm.
the ADs, the commissioners face zero
Mhm.
risk.
Mhm.
Uh, that is an issue. If the SEC's business model depends on black talent, why is the entire moral burden of boycotting being placed on the talent and not the executives who profit from it?
Amen.
I'm gonna read that again. If the if the SEC's business model depends on black talent, why is the entire moral burden of the boycott being placed on the talent and not the executives who benefit from it? Well, I mean, I don't think that an executive who's benefiting from anything would ever boycott nothing that they benefited from. That's a very tough act. That's a very
True.
tough act. Most people are gonna agree with the things that that benefit them. It's gonna be tough for you to abandon. That's the point of sacrifice, actually. The SCORE Act is one thing that's kind of missing. Is nobody's talking about that. Almost nobody's talking about that. The Congressional Black Caucus threatened to oppose the SCORE Act. Now, this is interesting. This is another interesting angle, which I think maybe more people will be on board with this than just coming out and asking athletes to sacrifice. But yeah, the bill that contains the national NIL framework that partially shields the NCAA from antitrust liability. The Congressional Black Caucus threatened to oppose them that bill unless the commissioners make public positions against redistricting. All right. And then there's what else is missing here? You got the executives. Then there's the donor accountability right there in the middle. The donor who funds the stadium, uh, the donor who funds these stadiums, and the donor who funds the state senate are often the same people, right? That's why this conversation is interesting, is because the same people who are funding the people that are making these gerrymandering laws are the same people who's donating tons of money to these uh, colleges to build these million, $1 million, tens of $1 million stadiums. So likely the biggest boosters of some of these programs are funding representatives at the same time. Um, Nobody's publicly asking those donors anything, right? Nobody's going to Yellowwood and saying, "Hey, man, support us. Look at what they're doing in our communities," right? And that's the dude with the money, right? Nobody's publishing their names. Nobody's asking the NAACP or the Congressional Black Caucus members to return the donations from these places to the same politicians that are behind the redistricting. So that's a whole layer that we're not even gonna get into because there are essentially these hands are feeding each other. You have the NAACP and the Congressional Black Caucus who are likely taking funding, federal funding, um, from the same politicians that are behind the actual redistricting, but they're not necessarily uh, n- act, they're not necessarily asking themselves to sacrifice and return those funds. Uh, the inquirer uh, the inquirer asked specifically if the members of the NAACP and the Congressional Black Caucus were willing to both denounce and return the dollars from donors who support candidates in um, anti-ethical to black political power. I might be more amenable on their demands on young athletes. That's where we're gonna land and then get you guys ideas
Mm.
on that one. What about that? Like that's kind of heavy, man. Like that he's saying like if y'all are willing to give back the money to these people, the donations that they made to y'all political cause back to these same representatives, then maybe I will consider this ask of these young athletes to be on board. What do you think about that aspect of it?
Yeah, man, I agree with it, man. It's like if you look at any political movement in the past, man, you had the people weren't asking, bro. They were demonstrating themselves, and then people just would fall in line. So it's just like, dude, you make the first sacrifice. Like you said, man, return all the donations. Do that first and say, hey,
Right.
look, this is what we're doing. If anybody want to join in, then we'll join in. You feel what I'm saying? But it's like asking these kids, like Tight said, no one is asking the coaches. to do anything. No one is asking the ADs to do anything. No one is asking the parking lot attendants to do anything. That's taking the people to and from the games. Man, it's just a whole trickle down effect. I just think again, it's you. I know you have to do something to make your vote count, but that thing might need to be rethought over again, man, to get to add some depth
Mm.
and understanding and layers to, a decision, a decision that big. So that's just my thought.
Yeah. Uh,
Man,
no, I agree. What you got on that one, Ant? Just about to get ready to
man, I might,
wrap this
I
up.
might, yeah, I might take it a little crazy, but just stay with me when I say just follow me on this. You're asking 17-year-old kids to boycott something that adults should do. You're asking a child. Now, I'm gonna put it like this. Imagine if this is your child. Somebody else is asking your child to boycott $1 million deal that could change your whole family's life.
Well, I, that I want to make sure we're framing it right. They asking them to take that $1 million from Oregon. They're not asking them to just boycott and not
Okay,
take
I
the million
got
dollars. You know what I'm saying?
right,
They're like,
but some
just go.
kids,
No,
but
I
some
get what you're
kids
saying, but I
don't
just
want to
want to make
go
sure we.
way to Oregon or
I got you.
you. And then if you think about it like that, Tez, I mean, I get what you're saying, but think about this: you're traveling. So why? Okay, just say your kid does go to Oregon, Ohio State, something like that. The money that you're
Mm-hmm.
finna dish out in travels alone, you're not gonna be able to keep up in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so you're asking kids that want to stay home, who knows the effects of if I go to play at Oregon, this might potentially hurt my family in the short term of paying bills and stuff like that. You're asking my child to go way to Oregon or something like
Yeah.
that, and they could.
Go to
Then
Arkansas.
I might be right, and I
Go to,
might
you know
be
what I'm saying? Go to one of the states that's not. You can go to a southern state. I just use Oregon as because it was the furthest away that I could think of. But like, there's states down here that wouldn't of the eight. But you don't have to. You don't think about it from like traveling all the way to Oregon. Like North Carolina is not on it. Go to North Carolina.
I mean,
You go
that's
to.
still, but that's still North Carolina still 300 some miles, 350, 400 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
When you know some people don't like to fly, so they gonna drive. Gas price is $4. You might
I
fill up
got you.
twice. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm putting all these variables in it. You know what I'm saying to make it really just be like you got to think about what's all at stake. Like you're asking a 17-year-old kid for something that's very demanding. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not thinking about that right now. They're not thinking about all this. Oh, this could affect my community and this and this. I mean, I get the point of you bringing it to their attention, but you shouldn't ask them to stand up and be a leader for this cause. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot to
Yeah.
put on their shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. I mean, it's a sacrificing for a cause is a lot. Period. Sacrifice in itself alone is a lot. Period. So I mean, it's a lot to ask. Very, very true. Um, I would like. I just want to. I do want to like make sure that like one of the reasons I wanted to do this episode just in general because I when when things like this happen and shout out to Sharp Sharp had this conversation on his podcast. Go check that episode out. We had a really fun conversation about this very topic. But when I was on there, I I made a point, and the point was the reason why I wanted to do this episode is because what's going to happen is the conversation is going to be steered so much about around football and these kids having to sacrifice. And that's not going to happen, right? We know that's not going to happen. The portal didn't
Mm-hmm.
open in December, so like we know it's almost impossible. Us as football fans know how tough that is to ask of kids and how impossible that may be. So I don't anticipate this happening. But what happens is as this dies down, as it did, like this was a hot topic last week. We may be the only ones still talking about it this week, right? Once it dies down, it takes with it the conversation about gerrymandering and what's happening in the African American community, right? And it just goes away too, because it's attached to this thing of sacrificing and young kids and football, and it just that conversation goes away too, which is ultimately what happened, right? Whether whether we agree or disagree with the methods, like I don't think that the conversation should be lost, right? Because
Uh-huh.
all it takes is one, right? All it takes is one kid to have a personal conviction to say, "Hey, I want to do something different," and state why I'm doing something different. Again, if it was you know, if you get a Travis Hunter, you get a kid like that that's special, and he goes to a HBCU and he says out of his mouth, "I went because there's no state that I want. I wanted to, you know what I mean? I wanted to play in my own community because our communities are being gerrymandered, such and such and such and such." That's enough to start a movement. You're not asking all these kids to just. It, it's framed as like you're asking all these kids at once to give up all this money. It's like, nah, like sometimes people do things just to start the conversation and to bring attention to the conversation. Do I think that was their intentions at the NAACP? Like, no, I think it was just miscalculated message. Right idea, wrong timing, wrong message, wrong execution. All of that played
Wrong
into
group.
it. Yeah. But what it does, what is healthy about it is like there's a kid out there that's paying attention to this. Now, is he really good at football? That I don't know. But there's somebody out here that's paying attention. Hopefully that's somebody with some influence and they decide to act on it. And it becomes a personal conviction of their own. And then now all of a sudden the movement sounds better. Because if athletes ask this question, if you had, and shout out to Nick, man, because me and Nick talked about this. If you had 5 athletes that came together out of high school, top rated high school athletes, that came out and said, "Hey, I'm going here." We didn't know anything about the NCAA asking these kids. And they came out and said, "Hey, man, we going to HBCUs or whatever school." And they came out and they said, "Hey, I'm challenging the rest of these kids to do the same thing." Nobody would have an issue with it.
Uh-uh.
Nobody would have it. It would be a cause because that's how causes are. Is you're in the battlefield, you make that sacrifice, then you challenge your peers. Nobody would have a issue with it, right? NCAA could be behind that whole. I mean, NAACP could be behind that whole thing, covertly. We wouldn't know, but like that's what I'm saying is like a cause has to have an idea first, a spark first, and whether we like it or not, this is that. And I don't want it to get lost that like, hey, this is happening. In these states, the biggest leverage that they had, you got to understand, like in the states that are targeted, the head coach of these football teams at these universities is probably the highest paid state employee. In fact, I would venture to say that in all 8 of them, the head football coach is probably the highest paid state employee in the state. But I know that was true for Alabama, and I'm almost sure Kellen DeBoer is still the highest paid state employee in Alabama. So yeah, when you want to target something, man, you target the leverage that you have. And to be honest, man, when it comes to any political issue, and it's sad to say, the most leverage that we have as an African American community right now is that 40% of our players that make up this $1.1 billion product that we cannot go without in the South. Like that's I don't know. That's how it is now. How to affect that and how to go about affect that to get what you want. That is a different conversation that takes some planning and done right, which is where I think the NAACP dropped the ball. It's just how they went about it was not the best look. So before, like I said, we were running really, really long on this one, man, and I apologize for that. So let's go ahead and wrap this up real quick with the last one. And it is the quiet power of the SCORE Act. We talked about that. The leverage, the NCAA desperately needs the SCORE Act to pass, right? For them to have any power, for real, and establish some NIL framework. The Congressional Black Caucus, which I think is a good idea, is another leverage point, and it isn't asking kids to sacrifice. They threaten to block the bill unless the commissioners take a public stance at redistricting, and adult commissioners forced to choose between political silence and the bill that saves their entire conference model is the result of it, right? So this plan has adults using institutional power to force adult decisions without asking 17-year-olds to give up a paycheck. And that's one of the things I want to highlight. Like, there are other ways to attack this problem that I think should be getting just as much pub. Like, you don't see a ton of articles about the Congressional Black Caucus threatening to block the SCORE Act, right? When I think that is, while not as wouldn't be as powerful if all the black kids were to leave these universities, it's still powerful nonetheless in addressing the same issue. But because it isn't a hot button topic, just doesn't get the same amount of play. And then lastly, we can't erase your vote and keep your jump ball is the mechanics of a fail. The mechanics of the boycott may fail, and the portal is locked. NIL checks are real, but the logistics are brutal. But none of that can change the underlying math. So everything that we talk about, like, none of that changes the underlying fact that an empire built on labor it won't protect is not an empire, that is a debt. I'm gonna repeat that again. An empire that is built on labor that it won't protect is not an empire, it is a debt. Right? So we'll get that out the board. Like I said, man, I don't necessarily agree how they're going to do it, but the fact remains is I do believe that the SEC should have, if you have 40% of your roster made of kids from these communities that are getting zoned out, like, yeah, you should say something. You should make a statement. But I understand why they wouldn't, man. So the last question that I got up should be a fun one, and I kind of know where everybody stands on this one before we get up out of here. Is if you were I think I got to read through that. But if you were a 5-star recruit, what would you do right now? All right, this one, know how y'all think about what y'all would do right now. Would you stay? You type stay in the chat. You commit up north. You type commit up north in the chat. Commit to a HBCU. You type commit to a HBCU in the chat. Or you just sit out till they sort this whole thing out. Which one would you do? If I'm a recruit right now, I'm probably just gonna stay where I'm at. Like, I'm being honest with you. Like, it's not. I'm imagining I'm 17, and I just stay where. She said, DJ says I need an option that says it depends.
All right. I agree with that. I agree with that.
You know what?
I agree
with
that.
CJ?
I agree with that.
You know what, CJ? Just for you, let's make that happen.
Yeah, I agree with that.
How about that? It depends. Look at that. CJ, 100% off. Just for you. And I like that option better too. So I'm gonna put it depends. Depends.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. Tight saying he'd commit to James Franklin. Oh man, we got Ant back in here, but yeah, she said thank you. No problem, no problem. That was a better option than the ones I put up there anyway. And then just like that, and it's gone. she had some interesting comments, man. Before we
Mhm.
get up out of here, she did say, "I don't." I thought this was cool.
Mhm.
I don't like how the schools are becoming synonymous with the voting map. They didn't change the map. So, what about the tens of thousands of people from all over the world at these schools? Yeah, yeah, that's very true. Uh, even it's so many other schools. Like we rarely think about this from like the high school perspective. Like think
Mhm.
about all the high schools and middle schools that are tied to these voting maps. Uh, and but here's what I don't want. This is what I don't want to happen. I don't want one of these kids grow up, go to the NFL, make a ton of money, 28 years old, in the NFL, veteran, more money than they can sneeze at. And then they look back and they go back home and their home is no longer existent. School is gone, the highway through their neighborhood, through their project building, whatever, wherever they came from is no longer existing no more. And they're sitting there with all this money and they can't do anything about it because it's gentrified and it's super expensive. It makes no point or no business to try to buy the neighborhood back because the neighborhood is gone. And they're sitting here with all this money and everything that they want. And then they sit back and they think like, man, if I could go back, I probably would have. I would have been on board with that boycott. I sacrificed my community because I didn't like the people that the message was coming from. Like that would be the ultimate like poor goal on it, right? And I'm not saying that they should boycott. I'm just saying like don't ignore it, right? You have more power than you think you have. Like don't ignore it. If it's not boycotting, something else should be done um about it because these people have voices, right? Um so a couple of these answers here, we have Wade saying he'd stay. Karen Parker. Shout out Karen. How you doing, man? She says it depends, right? Yeah, that's why we added that one. That was a better answer. Kite said he committed up north. Right? He going to Ohio State. Kite want to be up there where where you need to buy your jacket from Ohio for Ohio.
Yeah. He want to go to Ohio. He want to change his allegiance to Ohio State anyway. He tired of
He been
Alabama.
itching for it.
Yeah, he
He
tired
been
of
itching
yeah,
for a
he
chance.
looking for an excuse to leave Alabama anyway, man.
Look, it's 9-3 is just boy, I
Yeah,
tell you.
man, them losing these 4 games is bruh, and then it's like, man, he trying to get out of there anyway, man.
Said, my mom is a single parent. I have siblings younger than me. I'm staying. Oh man. So, oh
Mm.
man, any closing remarks on this one, man? Before we got to go ahead and get up out of it. Any closing remarks on this one, man?
Yeah,
Uh,
my
this is
last
this
thing
is
to
interesting.
bro, like, you know what I'm saying, whatever ethnic group you are in, and this is not just like centered to one ethnic group, man, but whatever ethnic group you in, or whatever societal group you in, or whatever group you are in or become a part of, man, it's like, bro, people died for this right. So if you have a problem with policies and processes that are in place, go vote and make a change. It's
Go
like
vote.
we can do all this running around and stuff, man, but it's still gonna come back to you gotta vote to put people in
Yeah.
or remove people that make the policies. So you can do all of it and make all of these changes, but if at the end of the day you make all of these changes and you still not gonna do anything to affect the policies being made, then dude, you're running around in circles for nothing. So my thing would be like, bro, go to the polls and vote, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, yeah, that is it, man. Hey, vote, man, and care about your community, right? A lot of people when we say vote, a lot of people think of national elections, presidents, and things like that. Like, no, 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 no. Like that vote of your state representatives, your community leaders and mayors and just local elections and stuff.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that has the most like importance on your community and that you
Yeah.
can directly see. And those
Hmm.
are the elections, those midterm elections. You know what I mean? People just don't vote in midterm elections.
A lot, man. It's
Like,
ridiculous. It's
if you think
ridiculous,
that people
man.
people will vote if a primary election has low voter turnout, think about all the other elections that go out.
Yeah, man.
Like they're people who have had the same position in politics for years because
Mm-hmm.
don't nobody even show up.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Think
we got
about
12 votes. And all
think
12
about
of them
this.
was mine.
If everybody would have voted, bro, Tez could have been middle school president. But y'all didn't come out to vote.
I could have been, but y'all didn't vote, man.
It could have happened, man. It could have happened, man. It's y'all
I was
fault.
close,
The ones
man.
that didn't vote in the middle school election, man. That's why Tez didn't get it. It's y'all fault, man. Tez could have had that plaque still on his wall, man, telling his daughter about it and everything, man. Y'all deprived him of that, good feeling, man. So
funny, man. All right, man. We're gonna get up out of here, man, as we do about this time. I'm sorry if I kept y'all a little bit longer for this episode. It's a lot to get through though. But let's go ahead and cue up that outro. Yeah, this has been a fun one, man. I got my Milo's tea in the frame.
Yeah.
we had a good conversation here, man. Again, like this wasn't to just sway anybody's opinion one way or another. I just wanted to point out all of the facts instead of just focusing on one part of it. Like, let's look at it from a whole eye. And I think we did a pretty decent job of that. Like, there's still tons more about this that we can talk about, but we don't have that much time. So yeah, you guys, again, next week I will be announcing I will be announcing a programming change that will take place next month. We're gonna do some things a little differently. But no, yeah, it'll be lunch breaks isn't going anywhere, right? Okay. It's not going anywhere.
They have voted lunch breaks off there.
May actually get more lunch breaks, man. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
We'll see. So that should be fun, man. And yeah, man, that's what we got going on, man. So make sure you guys go back, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, right? If you are watching this and you think you're subscribed, just check right now, because sometimes YouTube unsubscribe people at random. Mm-hmm. We don't want that to happen to you. So make sure you subscribe, hit that subscribe button, like the content, go back and watch some more of the content, like more of the videos, recommend this to people, send it, share it. There's a little share button. You can share it to people if you like this conversation. Yeah, that's it. That's it for I'm horrible at self-promoting, so I just try to go through the stuff in my head. But that's it for me. EC, tell people what you got going on, man.
Man, check us out on Have You Heard Auburn News Today on Sundays at 6, man, at Auburn_Addicts TV on YouTube, Auburn_Addicts on all platforms, man. Come check us out, man. Be happy to have you over. We're talking Auburn football, Auburn basketball, Auburn baseball, Auburn everything, man. More Auburn football than basketball than other stuff, but it is what it is. Y'all come on over. Check us out.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'll be there. Come on over there. And what you got going on?
Yes,
man?
sir.
You safe out there on the road, man?
Man, you know it. Hot, safe, trying to do a day's work. Everything, man.
Quit your job, man. Quit your job, man.
Yeah,
nah, man, I can't do that. I can't do that.
Leave that truck right there where it's at. Man.
Let's leave it where it's at. Yeah.
No, I can't do that though. No, I can't do that though.
Already, man.
Hey, you got your Cheddar Bay biscuits yet this week?
Huh?
You got your Cheddar Bay biscuits yet this week?
Nah, man, I ain't got them yet, bruh. I'm kind of mad about that. Gotta make an appointment sometime soon.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you gotta get those, man.
Telling you, it make the week better.
We exceeded the time frame, guys. We gotta get up out of here, man. I'm sorry if you guys are late clocking back in. Tell your boss to write a quick email of his grievances to info@SECZN. And in the subject, urgent, make sure you put urgent. And I made sure I let him know that we were having a great conversation. Don't just jump and sacrifice your job. Right?
No,
Let's figure this thing out first.
Figure
I
it
wouldn't
out.
advise that.
I'm not gonna ask you to sacrifice your job for the channel, but we can figure something out. This has been a fun one, man. Got to get up out of here, man. And as always, man, I'm Tez, and it's SE season. Time to go clock back in. Breaks off. Yo.